Thank you very much, Stephanie. You're on top of it. And welcome to Stephanie. Oh, what am I doing here? I got it. Yes. Thank you. Welcome to Stephanie, who's going to assist us with our meeting today. Good morning to all of the commissioners, to all of the officers of LAFD, and to all the visitors who are somewhere out there in the audience virtually. Today is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. The time is 9 a.m. We are going to have this is the Board of Fire Commissioners special meeting. Stephanie, would you do a roll call for us, please?
Yes. President Woods Gray?
Here. I'm here.
Hara?
Oh. Here.
Commissioner Babcock? Not present. Commissioner Ibarra? Absent. Commissioner Nimberg?
Here.
Thank you. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Chief, good morning to you again.
Good morning, ma'am.
Would you lead us in the flag salute and a moment of silence, please, at this time?
I would be honored. Thank you. Everybody stand and hand over heart and begin. I pledge allegiance
To the
flag of the United States.
Of the United States of America,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
for all.
for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our past and present members of Los Angeles Fire Department who have devoted their lives to the protection of the community. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chief Crowley. Stephanie, at this time, would you read the directions for the audience who wishes to make public comment?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Persons may listen to the meeting live by dialing any of the telephone numbers listed on the cover of the agenda for this meeting. Should you dial one of the numbers, you will be able to listen to the meeting, but will not be able to give public comment during the meeting. Anyone wishing to address the Board of Fire Commissioners on any item of the agenda prior to the action of the board on a specific item or during general public should call 1-669-900-9128. When you are asked for a meeting ID number, please enter 881-2091-3045. Followed by the pound sign. Then press the pound sign again to continue. You will then be joined into the meeting. To alert the board that you want to give public comment, press *9 to raise your hand. You will be called on by board staff who may refer to you using the last 3 digits of the number you are calling from. When unmuted by staff, press *6 to unmute. Then please state your name. As a general reminder, public comment will be limited to 1 minute per agenda item and up to 2 minutes allowed for agenda items. At the request of the speaker will be afforded an additional 1 minute for general public comment for a maximum of 3 minutes total per speaker. Time may not be ceded to another speaker, and an individual may speak only once during the public comment period. Only those who are in the queue when the president begins the public comment section of the agenda will be allowed to speak. These instructions may also be found on the front page of the meeting agenda. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stephanie, I'm sorry, what is your last name?
Martinez?
Miss Martinez. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Martinez. Very good. Now moving on to the next item is item number 1 on the agenda. But I also want to offer the City Attorney Wynn. Do you, are there any comments you need to make at this time?
No. Did you have a specific question for me, Jimmy?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you had no comments at this time.
I did not have.
Okay. Commissioner comments. Commissioners, do you have any comments for us today? Dr. Howard, you're usually
Yes.
very busy representing
So
the commission, which we really appreciate.
I got to attend uh, the 2021 for recruit graduation event,
Oh,
and it was, as usual, a great event. I'm still looking forward to when they can actually do demonstrations, which they weren't able to do yet. And then since that time, I'm after speaking with Chief Crowley, we're making arrangements for Charles Drew University medical students to do ride-alongs. This won't happen until next year, really, but we're in that process of making those arrangements. And so I've been meeting with Chief Tyler Dixon, and then Captain Ron Shaw, and I think things are progressing quite well. And but once again, this won't be happening until next year.
oh, wow, that sounds very exciting. I bet that would be exciting for the future doctors and nurses
Oh,
also.
absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Dr. Hart. You're always innovative in planning great things for your students and using the fire department as a part of that, which is really a great resource in our community. I'm glad you're taking advantage of it. Very good. Are there other commissioner comments? Okay, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that this past week, we have had a great increase in the number of COVID cases in LA County. LA County has the highest per 100,000 in the state. And we still need to be very cautious. I know people are tired of COVID and saying, I've heard them say, I'm just finished with it. But you can't be finished with COVID, because COVID is not finished with you. It's going to keep going, it seems. Who knows when it's stopping? But we still have to be very cautious and take precautions to keep everybody safe. And it's disappointing that it's going up again, but after the super spreaders that we have, like we've had the 4th of July, and now we have the All-Star game that just had a fabulous weekend and culminates with the game tonight. We've had a lot of super spreaders in LA County, so maybe that might attribute to some of the problems that we're having. However, whatever the problems are, we still have to deal with the issue that we have an increase in COVID and that we all still need to be safe. And saying that, let's move on to the report of the fire chief.
Great.
Good morning, Chief Crowley, again.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to be reporting from June 21st to July 18th, a number of items I'd like to share in this forum. On June 21st, we do continue to make really positive strides forward with our strategic plan. I did have the opportunity to continue to meet with our number of council members. So on June 21st, CD 12, that's Councilmember John Lee, he and his staff, with the opportunity to speak to him specifically about their needs within their districts and their constituents. Also, we followed up with that same day a meeting with Council President Nuri Martinez, met with she and her staff as well in CD6. So we continue to push forward on our ability to connect with our internal and external stakeholders. On June 30th, I had the honor again to be at the graduation and speak for our 48 recruits. Brand new probationary firefighters hit the field on July 3rd. That was class 21-4, really great opportunity to highlight all the hard work and efforts and dedication of our staff as well as the recruits hitting the field. So we continue to push forward with that as well. That same night, I was a keynote speaker, one of the speakers at CalJack EMT Academy graduation. That's the first time we've actually hosted and partnered with CalJack EMT, where they had a large number of participants. They went through a 6-month extensive EMT program, and they successfully graduated the program, which was, again, a great opportunity to highlight hard work and efforts of potential future LAFD firefighters. On July 1st, I was part of the anti-fireworks campaign with LA County and a number of other entities there. In fact, today we'll be speaking today on a verbal report on regular agenda item 6D. So we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to continue to talk to the public and have the opportunity to educate people on how dangerous fireworks were and are, and to always try to attend a professional fireworks show. July 6th and 7th, I traveled up to Sacramento, participated in the FireScope Board of Directors meeting. Always a great opportunity to work with our partners up and down the state. So that was a good trip up to Sacramento. On July 11th, I drove down to Lawa, that's the airport, and had the opportunity to do a meet and greet with their leadership there. They're doing a tremendous amount of work, construction, to have the ability to promote what they're doing down there with their construction. And the amount of work is really amazing. They're doing it safely, and they really were able to highlight what hard work they're doing to ensure that the airports are safe, and that we can really lean forward for the 2028 Olympics. On July 14th, just the other day, had the opportunity to meet with the city of San Fernando, again, focusing our strategic plan. We want to understand what the needs are within the city of San Fernando, which has its own unique needs. So we spent some time with their leadership as well, and we gained a large amount of information that we're going to build into our strategic plan. And then lastly, last night on July 18th, again, had the opportunity to meet with the West Side Council, in which we had the opportunity to, again, talk about our strategic plan in those hillside areas, and again, meet and understand what their needs are specific to those hillside communities. And again, we're going to be adding that into our strategic plan as well. We'll continue that focus, and I'll be reporting on that as we move forward with the strategic plan. End of my report. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Chief. You are very busy doing a lot of great things. I love the interaction and the reaching out to the community, the council, and building that relationship there. That's going to be very valuable to you and the department. Wonderful, wonderful. So B, item 2B under the Chief's report, we have a verbal report by the department on significant incidents and activities. Is that was yours, what you just did?
No, ma'am.
Is that a different one?
That's the one I asked if you could move on, because we don't.
Oh, that's the one that we won't have. 2B. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, okay, let's move on. Then we get, what about 2C? That's the medical director.
Yes, ma'am. So Dr. Sanko's here today. He does have.
Hi, Dr. Sanko. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. Again, Steve Sanko, Acting Medical Director and Bureau Commander for the EMS Bureau. Following's my verbal report this morning. On June 30th at around 6:45 p.m., a CHP officer playing baseball with some colleagues fell dizzy and passed out. His wife started CPR on him, and his colleagues from the Port Police obtained an AED, an automated external defibrillator, from their vehicle, applied the pads, followed the machine's prompts, and shocked him back to life. Engine 48 immediately bought into the call. They were joined by Rescue 112 and others. The patient was noted by our members to have a very unique form of a heart attack that had led to his cardiac arrest. He was quickly transported to Harbor UCLA Medical Center, taken emergently to the cath lab, and later for bypass surgery. He survived a hospital discharge, completely neurointact. Here in the city of LA, we have roughly 3,000 EMS treated out of hospital cardiac arrests a year, of which around 600 would benefit from the use of an AED. However, unfortunately, only about 2% of these cases have access to an AED, though when it's present, it increases the rate of complete recovery by 7-fold. Public safety is on scene about 20% of these cases before us, though Port Police vehicles have AEDs, LAPD patrol cars do not. Second case I wanted to highlight is that that same week, Engine 4 ran on a 25-year-old man near Union Station. He was recently released from prison. He was altered, breathing slowly, had pinpoint pupils. He was suspected of having an overdose of opioids. He was quickly given naloxone, which is a reversal agent. He became fully oriented, was up and walking around and drinking water. He refused transport to the ED. which is not unusual. A local street team then transported him to a local federally qualified health center where he received a dose of buprenorphine. This is a maintenance medication that helps bring patients with opioid use disorder back into balance. He's remained on this medication for the last 3 weeks. He's had 2 visits with his primary care doctor, no ED visits or 911 calls. LAFD attends about 1,200 opioid intoxicated patients per year, half of whom are in 1 square mile downtown, where there's been also in that same area a recent increase in the number of FQHCs or local health clinics offering medication-assisted treatment to help manage these patients' symptoms and prevent opioid intoxications. The EMS Bureau and Mobile Integrated Healthcare Unit are working with local stakeholders to explore how we can leverage our nurse practitioners and physician assistants to facilitate initiation of buprenorphine on scene and linkage to these clinics to help save lives. And that ends my report.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. It looks like there's been a lot of activity in the area, and to have the opiate problem in one location centralized seems like that's a real problem, isn't it?
It's a problem, but also I think a public health opportunity, which we're well positioned to work together with others to impact.
Actually, you're right, because if they're all there together, you can try to reach out to them. You're not going all over the place. You can centralize that. And hearing you talk about that reminds me that hopefully we need to have an update on the Sober Center. We haven't heard about that in quite a while. And to see exactly where that's going. So in a future report, we'll I would like to have a report on the Sober Center down there, because that was another great adventure. Thank you very much, Doctor. Are there any questions for the doctor? Okay, thank you very much for the report. And we hope to see you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, now we're at public comment. Do you have, I don't know how many, I don't see any hands. Do you see hands?
No, I do not have any hands raised. Does anyone have any public comment? Please press *9 to raise your hand.
So
No.
there's one that went up. So we'll accept that one because they were supposed to have their hands up by the time I asked for it. So we'll have that one and then we'll move on. Thank you.
Jasmine, will you?
I don't see which one had their hand up.
It's 105.
One of 5 is not there.
They're not, no.
They left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they left?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
I still see them.
I
Okay.
still see them too.
Yeah, the person just unmuted.
Oh, okay. Yes, they did. Good morning.
Good morning, President Woods. This is
May-
Freddie Escobar, Commissioners, President, everybody that is listening in the airwaves.
Freddie,
Freddie
may I ask what you're speaking on today?
General comments and all issues.
Okay, yeah. Your 3 minutes has begun.
Well, thank you. I'd be remissible if I didn't address the elephant in the room, and that is what occurred on even having a quorum. That ex-Commissioner Lindbergh is being able to participate in this is against what the mayor wants. It's against what should be happening. And that is a reflection of you, President Gray, that allowing that to occur. I do not see why this commission is even occurring today or why we're even participating in this. Everybody, that is the big elephant in the room, and I'm asking you to stop this commission today. This is ridiculous as we move forward, and it's a reflection of the brothers and sisters that I represent. So if we're going to go ahead and do whatever we want, that's the same expectation I expect our members to abide by. I'm frustrated. This should not be occurring, and I yield my time.
Thank you.
Are there other public speakers? There are none others because there were no hands up when I called for them. Okay, very good. City Attorney Nguyen, can you please address the charter issue as to why I had Commissioner Ninberg to attend? I beg your pardon?
I'm still here. I just thought I heard another voice trying to say something as well.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard it. So I didn't understand what was going on either. It wasn't your voice, but someone else needs to mute themselves.
Okay. I would just want to clarify that President Jimmy Woods Gray did seek the advice of the city attorney's office with regards to whether or not there was a quorum for today. And the city attorney's office has advised the president that the commission does have a quorum and is compliant with the city's charter.
Thank you very much. And that's what we do. We try to follow the charter. We hope that the people, all people, will follow the charter, because the charter is voted on by the people, represents what the people want, and that's what we are supposed to be doing, representing the people. Thank you so very much. Okay, let's move on. The next item is item 4, which is probably by far the best item, the most important item on the agenda, in that the state has demanded that it be done in 30 days. So is there any discussion on this particular issue? I think I already indicated and I know that you all are, the commissioners are informed and aware that COVID is on the increase as opposed to decreasing. So is there a motion to for number 4 or any discussion?
I make a motion to continue 4A for another 30 days to meet virtually.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded that we continue to meet virtually following AB 361, Governmental Code Section 54953. The commission has determined that that it would have an impact upon our members if we were not to meet virtually. So and so the board has determined that. So we will vote on that to see if we can continue the 30-day virtual meeting. Ms. Martinez, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes. President Woods Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Hara,
Aye.
Commissioner Nimberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Ms. Martinez. Now we'll move to item 5, which is the consent agenda items. Are there any items that you wish to be pulled, commissioners, or discussed or have questions about? If not, a motion is in order to receive and file to accept the consent agenda items.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Ms. Martinez, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes. President Woods Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Hara,
Aye.
Commissioner Nimberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 6, which is a regular agenda item. Now, item 6A, Commissioner Ibarra has a great interest in that, but since we all have had a very big interest in the preferences points and getting giving credit to people for other work that they've done before they apply for the department, I wanted to hear the report with the stipulation that we will bring this report back, the same report, because we will have a new commissioner and the other commissioners need to be aware of where we probably need to go and what work we need to do to implement the preference program. So at this time, we'll go to 6A, BFC 22-063. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners, Chief Crowley, Command Staff, City Attorney Nguyen. My name is Christine Larson. I'm in charge of the recruitment and youth programs for the fire department. I believe it was Commissioner Babcock who had requested preference points for candidates in the process to become firefighters. So the question was, can preference points be made for city or county residents, for youth program participants, LA high school preference points? And can there be a residency requirement for a period of time before being hired? Guidance for this, as you noted for meetings, is found in the charter. It's found in Article 10 of the Civil Service Code, Section 1006. So it really only reflects military service. If we were to institute preference points for other categories, that would have to be included in a charter change. So at this time, we're not able to offer that. Usually in past practice, candidates that have city residency, participating in youth programs, have been put through into academies, but that's kind of on the back end. But military service right now is the only category that is given preference points.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chief Larson. Are there any questions or concerns about that report?
Yes.
Commissioner Ninberg?
Oh, yes. What is the process to get a charter change for something like this? And has that been done? Do you know? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it would have to be, have ballot measures, and maybe Chief Everett can talk about it. But
Chief Everett might have some comments.
Yeah, we haven't done ballot measures in a while.
Okay.
Chief Everett, do you have a comment on that?
Well, yes, ma'am. The process.
I mean, I saw you light up, so when I see you light up, I always think that means, oh, they want to speak.
Well, I'll share what I know about it, but yeah, the process includes, it requires to go on a ballot, which requires action by the council and by the mayor's office to support such a ballot measure. So we would have to formulate what exactly our measure would look like, get support across the street, and then hopefully it would go on a ballot and then hopefully get voted in and to impact the charter. So it's a little bit of a process, and it does require timing to get all the process done before the election. So there is some time factors involved as well.
But it does seem, I mean, it's certainly feasible to do this.
Oh, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Just a matter of someone organizing it, and it goes through the committee. So that's a future job for someone.
Right. I mean, I think we work with UTLA, with our magnet programs, if they are interested in, making sure that their students have access to these positions, that might be something for them. So
very good, very good.
Well, thank you, Chief, and thank you, Chief Everett. Good to see you.
You're welcome.
Chief Larson, thank you very much. And you did hear me say that at a time when we know that Commissioner Ibarra will be at the meeting, we will have you come back. But
Yes,
you'll know 24 hours in advance.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So do we vote to continue this then?
No, we're just going to
receive and file, and then you put it back on.
Receive and file and have the report. Oh, let's vote to continue it, since what we did have. Let's vote to continue it. Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, would you do a roll call on that, please?
Yes. President Woods Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Hara?
Aye.
Commissioner Ninberg?
Yes.
Very good. So we will see that again, and when we have, there'll be other people who will be interested. So that's great. Item 6B.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Madam President.
Kelly?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Madam President, Chief Crowley, and Commissioners. I'm Steve Skelly, Battalion Chief in charge of the Recruit Services section, and I'm honored to present to you an overview of our most recent graduates. As mentioned earlier in the meeting, Recruit Class 21-4. They began their training on March 28th, 2022, and graduated the Academy 3 weeks ago on June 30th, 2022, and they're now in their third week of their field training assignment, of their first field training assignment. 21-4 started with a total of 62 recruits. That was 51 new hires and 11 that were reassigned from previous classes. I'm pleased to report that we graduated 48 recruits, 2 of which were female. Overall, 77% retention for that class. It's worth noting that the 11 recruits that were reassigned from previous classes, all 11 graduated. That's 100% retention. And if you calculate the new hire to graduate ratio, like we do for our long-term calculations of our retention, this class has a 94% retention rate. It's extremely high ratio, and we're excited about it. It's 14% above what we consider normal retention. There were 6 members from 21-4 that separated from the department. 4 were due to performance, and 2 resigned for personal reasons. As far as the ethnic breakdown for the graduated recruits, we had 19 Caucasian recruits, representing 40% of the class, 18 Hispanic recruits, now graduates, 38% of the class, 5 African-American graduates at 10% of the class, 3 Filipino graduates, 6% of the class, 2 that identify as other, representing 4% of the class, and 1 American Indian, which is 2% of that class. Our graduates range in age from 18 to 46, with the majority of the class that falls between the ages of 23 and 33. 48% of the class have earned their bachelor degrees, and 25% are already certified paramedics. 33% of the class have a language proficiency in Spanish, and we have 1 recruit that's a veteran of the United States Army, and we'd like to take this moment to thank her for her service. As I've stated before, I often visit the academies located at Drill Tower 81 and at Drill Tower 40. I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge that our academy instructors and staff are doing a great job, and we're extremely proud of the work that they're doing. This concludes my report. If you have any questions, please.
No, but I would like to also congratulate the graduates in the class and to thank them for choosing LAFD as a place where they wanted to work. And wishing them all the very best in this first year on the job, and that they get lots of training while they're out there. 48 out of 52, that was the 48 from 52. And that was pretty good, because you only lost 4 people, huh?
Well,
out of the 52.
Yeah, we lost.
Probably 11 others graduated.
Right. That's how we average our retention over the long term. That's how we calculate for our full board reports. So this class will definitely bend the needle towards a higher overall graduation rate.
Wait, can you?
Okay.
Was that
Commissioner Ninberg?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Was that 52 or 62?
Out of the 51 new hires.
Okay.
51 new hires, we graduated 48 people overall, which includes the rehires from the class before.
Oh, so we had graduated. Oh, so it's 48 minus 11.
So
I'm sorry.
So I know this is the problem with verbal reports. I know it's hard to keep track. So wait, how many people started that weren't? You have how many people that started that weren't reassigns?
I have that.
Okay.
So of the 51 new hires,
okay,
30% of them graduated. 37 of them graduated, which is 73% retention on the first attempt.
And what percent were female and what percent were male?
Well,
or can you tell me how many were female?
Four female recruits in this class.
Okay.
Did they all graduate?
No, we graduated 1.
Oh.
And they were part of the of this class, specifically for females. We started with 4. One recruit has graduated in the field. I'm just going down them individually. We had a female that was in the reassigned mode has graduated and is working in the field. We had 1 female that was injured and she is eligible for reassignment. And we have another female that is currently in this class. In the current class, is reassigned in the next class.
Okay, so you have of the 4 that
one graduated,
went through
3 are potential.
Right. Oh, so the other 3 have been are going to be reassigned.
One not. The other 2 are one is injured and 1 is in the current class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that is something that is disconcerting. So just having, if you start with 4 and you only graduate 1, that seems like a problem to me if you have to be reassigned. So, and it seems to be kind of an issue in this department with the academies. So I know that you're trying really hard to, okay, there's a dog barking. I know that you're trying very hard to get everything, to overhaul or to investigate, but I'm deeply concerned because we spend so much money recruiting, targeting women, and we're only retaining 1, and then it costs us double the amount of money to put them through again. So I think that is something that I do believe that the third-party assessment will be able to address. Do you have any information on that or when that's coming?
As reported in the last report, we will know further coming in the fall.
Okay.
We're working
I
on it.
can just speak on that. So yes, we are pursuing the validation. Once we have more information, we can report back to the commission. We understand this is very important, to validate exactly what we do as firefighters. And then from that point, how do we properly train them to do the job? And just from the past graduates, just this past class, just to make it really clear, at least my understanding is we started with 4, whether it was a rehire or not. Let's just look at it from simple terms. We started with 4, we graduated 2, correct? So we graduated 2 women, we started with 4, and then, path forward is creating that, that preparation piece from my perspective is very, very important. From my own experiences, the preparation and understanding what and how we do this job as firefighters, as physical as it is. I think the key to our success for men and women is to understand, how do we better prepare our people on the very front end. So those are a lot of the things that we're looking at. We have a prep program, but we need to ensure that our people are ready for the physical part of this job, but also, to ensure that they have a long and healthy career ahead of them. So those are all the thoughts and strategies that are coming our way, and doing a deep dive in regard to how we prepare and the curriculum, of what we do as firefighters to prepare them for the field. Not to have a drill tower way and a field way, but actually move towards a more realistic way so that the members are prepared. And we have to give our staff the flexibility to do that. I know Chief Skelly is working on that, and Chief Hisong is also working on that, all the way up to the Bureau Commanders. So those are the, the strategies and path forward for us in the future. And also from the pipeline side, to how do we engage and get more qualified individuals that come from a variety of backgrounds and ethnicities, races, and pure a heart to have, a pure heart to serve is what we're looking for with our future firefighters. So we're leaning forward, knowing that we have 300 potential hires this next fiscal year. So those are all some of the strategies that we're working on.
That is fantastic. And I greatly appreciate, I mean, that sounds fantastic and amazing that, exactly what we would want out of those that serve us. I know hiring 300, that's 10%. Like, that's what it's close to. I also, because, I think it's, and making sure the problem, you have 19 Caucasians and 18 Hispanics, but we're only 28% Caucasian in this city, and over 50% Latino. So just making sure that we are reflecting the city we serve, and that they do have the heart for this job and for the service. So thank you so much. And thank you, Chief Skelly. I do know that you're trying hard. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up to make sure that, it does need to be addressed. So thank you so much.
As a retired teacher, I appreciate the fact that the students are given a second term time, because when we didn't pass on the first time, we just sent you back through the mill and drilled you all over again. But we wanted to make sure you passed the second time. So that was that's good, and I'm glad, because some people do need a little bit more extra help. That's understandable, and so for them to have an opportunity and not just be thrown out altogether, I think is great. So
Yes, ma'am.
let's keep working on that and trying to strengthen those people on the second round, if not on the first. I know there's complaints from people about second round people, but people having to do it. But to me, it's like sometimes you just need a little extra.
Yeah,
You don't pass the driving test maybe on the first time, but you get a chance to go back and do it the second time.
yes,
You
ma'am.
actually get 3 times. So it's I think it's a good process that you're trying to do, and I appreciate that you're looking into it and going with it and understanding what the figures are saying and trying to give us the best picture. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chief Crowley, and thank you, Chief Skelly, for that report. Are there other comments? If not, that's a verbal report, so we don't really need a motion on that one. Very good. We'll move on to item D, which is a verbal report of the department on the fireworks. Those fireworks that we just can't seem to get under control. Okay, Chief Gutierrez, are you doing that?
No, ma'am. I was doing item C, which is a verbal report on the city applicants as of June 15th.
Oh, I skipped over something. I'm sorry. Glad you showed up so I could go back to the agenda. Thank you very much. Let's do item C.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Chief Gutierrez.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Madam President, Vice President, Commissioners, Fire Chief Crowley, Stephen Gutierrez, Commander of Training and Support Bureau. As directed by the Commission, I'll be providing a verbal report on the candidate applicant demographics as of June 15, 2022, which is the application deadline. The information provided is on gender and ethnicity, and it's provided by the City Personnel Department. I'm going to go slowly because it's quite a few numbers and it's broken down by percentages, so I will go slowly. And then follow that, I can answer any questions specific to those demographics. So as you all are aware, the application deadline closed June 15, 2022. And the following is a breakdown of the ethnicity and gender. We had a total of 6,511 total applicants. And out of that, by ethnicity, African American 916, which equates to 14.07%. Indian and or Alaska Native 68, which is 1.04%. Asian 334, which is 5.134%. Caucasian 1,894, which is 29.09%. Filipino, which is 140, which is 2.15%. Hispanic 2,965, which is 45.54%. And unidentified 194, which is 2.98%. In terms of gender, we have a male count of 5,946, which equates to 91.32%. Female 509, which equates to 7.82%. Non-binary 29, which is 0.45%, and unidentified 27, which is 0.41. That again is a total of 6,511 candidates and equates to 100% both ethnicity and gender. The information again was provided by the city personnel, which oversees our hiring, and it is as effective of June 15, 2022. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Yes, what was the number for the non-binary?
Non-binary, ma'am, is 29, which is 0.45%.
Okay, what was the category after that, you said?
The unidentified.
Oh, unidentified. How many was that?
27, ma'am, and that's 0.41%.
Oh, I see. Now, I wonder why personnel, we usually say Asian Pacific Islanders, and we put the Filipinos and the Asians all together, but the personnel department separates everybody.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that, ma'am. That's just the data that's provided.
So you don't make up the rules. You just deliver the information.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yes.
That's a question I always had. Okay, very good. So we have other questions from commissioners? Commissioner Nenberg.
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Chief Gutierrez. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I just wanted, so are these people that have passed the test?
These are total applicants. So
Okay.
this is not broken down by test results. This is total applicants as of close of 6/15/2022.
Okay. And do you know like how many of those are viable?
I don't have that information in front of me. This was the request.
Oh, got you. Okay. I just wonder what the difference is between the applicants and those that are viable and how that breaks down by gender, race, and ethnicity. So I think that would be an interesting item to look at for the next meeting as well. And I would defer to Madam President on that one. But I think just because the numbers sound actually reflective of the city. I mean, so as far as race and ethnicity or close to it, and I would like to see how that actually translates into hires, so.
Yes, ma'am. I can say this is that really proud of our recruitment section.
Yeah.
They do a tremendous job. They work very hard, particularly during the times of COVID, and really do their due diligence. And along with everyone assigned in that recruitment, section and recruit training section, they work extremely hard ensuring that each and every candidate, and philosophically, what we like to do is really concentrate on retention. And that means retaining people in our processes as well. So I'm extremely proud of them. Chief Larson's on the call, Chief Skelly do a tremendous job, and it's a lot of work.
Oh, I know. I've seen how much outreach there is, targeting communities. And I do have to say, our recruitment division is stellar. And I want to thank the recruitment division and for their work because it shows in these numbers. So,
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are there other comments from the commissioners? I too want to congratulate the recruitment department because they seemingly have the numbers look good. The numbers look really good. So it's now a matter of us going through the process and see where we land when we go through the process. But the number 6,500 you said applied?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a smaller number. Do you think that's because of the pandemic?
I think
usually we have like 10,000 or more or something big.
Right. Historically, we've had more. I think there's a number of factors that may play into this. Obviously, there's a large hiring going up and down the state, if not throughout the country, in terms of firefighters and the vacancies.
Yes, there is.
And then, of course, the COVID and all the things that came with that. So I think we're coming out of it. Again, I think they do a tremendous job in the recruitment efforts. Now, as we mentioned on this call, now it's just we need to do our due diligence to get these folks through and get good qualified candidates in our workforce.
Very good, very good. Seeing no other questions or comments, thank you very much, Chief Gutierrez, and we look forward to an update as we go along.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll move to D. And Chief Harley, did I hear you say you were going to report on the fireworks?
No, that's going to be Chief Nelson. He's ready to go.
Chief Nelson. Oh, wow, we haven't seen you in a while, Chief Nelson. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing, Madam President?
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Good morning, Madam President, Fire Commissioners, Fire Chief Crowley, and the Bureau Commanders. I am Robert Nelson, Assistant Chief assigned to Homeland Security Division. I am responsible for the fireworks campaign. Those duties include making sure that our department bulletin is updated. That really pertains to field objectives, our CERT patrols, website information, social media, hanging up our banners with specific dates and times, fireworks show hotline, injury reporting, and coordinating the media and press conferences. We also schedule meetings. I track and monitor with the aid of FireStat and Metro the fireworks calls. We assist with the media and the PIO and messaging. This year's messaging was think of your neighbors, think of your children, think of the pets, think of vets, and go see a professional show. That was the themes for this year. We want to coordinate our outreach efforts. Largely, we work with our allied agencies, but most importantly, we work with My Safe LA, David Barrett. He's a tremendous asset to our team. And then we coordinate and make sure we share information across all of our allied agencies. This year, we think we've seen a significant decrease in firework activity leading up to the 4th of July. 4th of July looked to be about the same. I think our fire stat numbers are in alignment with previous years. However, the days leading up to, which was the weekend, almost virtually nothing happened. And we believe that largely due to our PO, our messaging, and a lot of the outreach efforts that were going on, and all the allied agencies, the LAPD, the sheriffs, the Parks and Recs, the district attorney's office, the council district, all messaging the same message. And I think that's really important. And Chief Crowley was out there doing public service announcements, and I think that really helped impact what was going on out in the public. Council District 7 did a buyback program again this year. Last year, they collected 514 pounds of fireworks. This year, they collected 673. So that program seems to be moving forward, and I expect that to increase in the years to come. I believe that Central Bureau for PD and for the fire department, Central Bureau seen the most calls, followed by the Valley Bureau. My Safe LA has been an outstanding partnership. They've actually created a base camp website online project management program that allows all of our allied agencies and public and professionals to get together and share information with respect to fireworks, the needs, the banners, neighborhood signs, fireworks shows and whatnot. And I think that that's actually reduced some of our meetings. We begin meeting in April every year. We pretty much year round, but we really kicked the tempo up for our meetings in April, May, and June. We meet in person, and then we also meet virtually. And we want to just make sure that everybody is sharing the same message, and that we share information, and that we get our banners up on all the police stations, the fire stations, the Parks and Recs locations, and we make sure that our allied agencies like the school district and the sheriffs and the LA County Fire are all working in collaboration with us. So far, I think it's been successful this year, other than the 4th of July, which looked kind of chaotic, but I think every 4th does. Certainly, we saw a reduced number of firework activity on Saturday and Sunday leading up to the 4th of July. So unless there's any other questions, I'm end of my report.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Commissioners, are there any comments or concerns, questions? The one thing that I do know is that we had a lot of fireworks on the 4th of July, and as you said, it wasn't as much leading up to it. And the good thing about it is, while there was a lot of it all night long, it ended at 12 o'clock midnight. It seemed like it just stopped, which was really good because that's unusual.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think, Madam President, I think we're making positive impact, but I think this is 6 years that we've been collaborating with all of our agencies and getting together on a regular basis. And I believe it's starting to take hold, and we're starting to see some positive impact. The data will bear that out.
That's really good because it's I know the sounds that I hear are not safe and sane fireworks, and that is a little scary. when it's I would hate to live next door to the people who are shooting off those bomb-like fireworks if I can hear it as well as I hear it. And all I do is open my front window and I look toward Inglewood, and it's a better fire show than they had at the Pasadena, I think, because it was beautiful. But they did stop at 12 midnight. That was good. And so that was really a relief because we have had it going on into the morning, So that it was like it all just stopped all at once, which was really great, really great. Yeah. So thank you very much for the work you're doing. Keep collaborating on that and trying to find a way that we reach out to those people. Some people have it all year long. There are a few people in the neighborhood who shoot off fireworks all year long. I don't know what their problem is, what they're celebrating, but that's an issue, just having fireworks. But anyway, we appreciate all the work you're doing and the work that Council Member Rodriguez did in her area by buying back was a really good idea. It probably got rid of a lot of the firework that was not safe and sane, it looked like on TV from the newscasters. And so maybe other districts will need to try it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Maybe we need to encourage them to try it also. I will contact my council members. So if other people contact their council member, they will probably can have them to start thinking about it now, because the next holiday is around the corner. It's always a holiday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Nelson.
Thanks, Chief Nelson. Let's see. Now we move on to E, and that's Chief Graham Everett. You're doing a verbal update on the COVID. Thank you very much, Chief.
Morning, Madam President, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Linda and Stephanie, Graham Everett, Deputy Chief. I serve as the Chief of Staff, just providing you with the COVID update numbers for this meeting. Our number of employees, our sworn employees, we have 3,384 sworn employees and 346 civilian, for a total of 3,730 employees total. Of that number, 3,277 folks have been fully vaccinated. 2,963 are sworn, and 314 are civilian. On the exemption side, we've received 340 exemptions. 326 of those are from sworn members. 14 of those are from civilian members. 280 of those exemptions received are from sworn members are religious related, and 13 from civilian members are religious related, for a total of 293. For medical exemptions, we've received 33 medical exemption requests from sworn members and 0 from civilian members. And we've received 14 exemption requests for both medical and religious purposes. 13 of those are from sworn, and 1 is from a civilian member. In terms of, as I mentioned, in terms of compliance, we have 3,277 members that are fully vaccinated, for a total of 87%, 87.86%, 88% basically. 2,963 are sworn, 314 are civilian. The exemption numbers I gave you before are from people that are not fully vaccinated. We have received exemption requests from employees that that are vaccinated. And I'm looking for those numbers right now.
Why would they want exemptions?
Yeah, we have a few. I thought that number was here, but it's not. So the number that I've provided for you in the past are exemptions from people that are not fully vaccinated, and they're just waiting for their exemption results to come back. The department has received a total of 117 exemptions back from the personnel department. 2 of those have been approved. 87 of those are religious related, and 30 of them are medically related. We still have some that we're pending over initial interviews to send to the personnel department. So that number still, that is a work in progress. In terms of folks that have been sent home on administrative leave, initially we had 358 members that were served with 48-hour notice to be sent home on leave no pay. 1 of those members was civilian, and 357 were sworn. We had a total of 128 folks that became compliant before they went on that leave. 127 of those members were sworn, and 1 member was civilian. So that left us with 230 members that actually went on unpaid leave. After they were placed on unpaid leave, of the 230, 210 became compliant. We have 16 members that have resigned and have indicated that the vaccine ordinance is the reason for their resignation. We have 2 members that have retired early, and 2 members that have been discharged from the department. We have 17 members currently on unpaid administrative leave. And right now, our current numbers as of this morning in terms of active cases, we have 37 members that are off duty due to COVID-19. 28 of those members are at home with an active case in isolation. Unable to return to duty due to like a post-infection disability, we have 8 members. and 1 member is on light duty due to a post-infection disability. 0 members are in the hospital, and to date, we still have the 2 members that have passed away from COVID. Those are the numbers for today. I can answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Commissioners, do you have any questions? Thank you very much, Chief Everett. That was a very thorough report.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot going on with the vaccines, with that department, I can see. A lot of moving parts.
Yes, ma'am.
You almost need a COVID coordinator, right?
Yeah, we've kind of turned our planning section into coordination of all these numbers, and Chief Perez has done an outstanding job maintaining this, along with
that's
our personnel services section, risk management section, Drew Steinberg, Jenny Park. Everyone's kind of been pitching in on this effort.
Oh, good. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Nimberg, did you have a question?
I did. Hi, Chief Everett. So, hi. So of those that were denied, they're compliant. Sorry, my Wi-Fi kind of went out, so I know it's a little difficult. What is the status there? Have any of them appealed for Board of Rights? Or, I mean, what's the process there? I don't know.
So we're not, for those members that have exemptions, requested exemptions, and they continue to mask and test, they are compliant to the ordinance. They still are in alignment with the ordinance. After their exemption request, let's say of the 115 that have been denied that we've received back, they would enter into an interactive process for reasonable accommodation. Once they go through that process, then we determine whether or not there's a reasonable accommodation within the department, and or if whatever else happens beyond that in terms of vaccination, or if they don't want to do that, then eventually, if there's no, let's just play it out that there's no reasonable accommodation process available, or there's no reasonable accommodation that could be made, then eventually those members would end up with the separation process in front of them. That's at the total end of it. But of the number of members that have been denied, we currently have not gone through those processes yet. But we're getting them back, periodically from personnel department.
Okay. And what would a reasonable accommodation be? Do you know? Or you just haven't gotten there yet?
Nah, we haven't gotten there yet. But in terms of reasonable accommodation for other injuries that maybe somebody has a permanent restriction, or it's the same type of process where the department, the city has to look at what is reasonable for the employer to allow members to work with whatever their issue is. If it's a disability due to an injury, or maybe it's a vaccine ordinance or whatever, then the department and the city would have to look at, are there positions within the department that can accommodate that particular issue, whatever it is. So we have several members that have been reasonably accommodated into the department with their medical issue or whatever issue they have, because they have the skill set to work in the capacity that we reasonably believe that they can serve the city and the department moving forward. So we haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's the process, the reasonable accommodation process.
Okay, excellent. No, I appreciate this. It was a very thorough report.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you so very much, Chief Graham Everett, for the report. We've actually come to the end of our agenda. I want to thank Ms. Stephanie Martinez for filling in for Ms. Gomez, and thank Ms. Gomez for getting all of our paperwork and everything together and everything in place so that we were ready to move ahead. I think that may be all of my little thank yous. And thank you to Commissioner Nimberg for filling in, even though her term has ended. Thank you very much for helping to assist us to meet a quorum as based upon what our charter says. Thank you so much. And thanks, Chief Crowley, for all the work you're doing, and continued success. And stay safe out there, because I tell you, this COVID is a mess. At any rate, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. Ms. Martinez, would you call the roll for us, please?
President Woods Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Hara,
Aye.
Commissioner Nembert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Everybody have a good 2 weeks. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.